The smell of something fresh lays in the air. Good evening, dear racing fans, for our start of Season 3 of the L2S community. A handful of lads started the Love to Smoke Rear Tires community sometime during last year's autumn, and now we head into the third season with two tiers. This is Tier 1, and that's not the only thing that is new today, because I have the honor to finally, the first time, stream of a PlayStation 5. Costed me a few nerves to get everything set up, but in the end, it all went smoothly and fine. So I hope that you boys out there, boys and girls of course, will be able to enjoy a bit better graphics from now on. So this is the start of the third season. We have 14 drivers in. We will not have a full grid tonight. We didn't have a full grid in Tier 2 either, sadly. But okay, we are just a few weeks away from the new game to arrive, and it's getting spring. I think it's legit that some drivers take a bit of a pause, take a bit of a breather. I was so looking forward to the battle from Rehad Sudin against Chris Tam, both the former Tier 2 champions, Chris Tam reigning Tier 1 champion, and as far as I know, both are inactive tonight. Let's have a short look through the lobby. And yes, there is no Rehad Sudin, there is no Chris Tam. So let's see who will then finally be the drivers to beat in Season 3. Maybe we see the Slayer coming up now finally, after he was one of the title runners in Season 1, had a bit of a lapse in Season 2, maybe now. Maybe it's Golden Pickle, he had a good last season. Maybe it will be official, the champion of Season 1. Or maybe something totally different. Maybe Costa France, maybe David Ejuel, maybe BMC. Those two boys were really strong in Tier 2 last season. Or maybe someone totally different. We will find out in the next 11 weeks, shortened Season 3 to finish in time with a new game arriving. We will race on every second track of the real-life calendar. So we start in Bahrain, then we will head to China, then Barcelona, and so on. We will every time see a 18 minutes qualifying, followed by a 50% race distance. What are, I think, 29 laps here in Bahrain. We have dynamic weather, not a topic for tonight. We have strict corner cutting, that definitely is a topic here in Bahrain. Corner cutting as well as track limits. You can very easily, and on a lot of turns, exceed the track limits here. Manual restarts, manual pit stops, of course, manual gearbox, full rules, flags, VSCs, all that is set to on. Here's the overview of the assists you can use: manual gearbox, medium traction control, pit stops. All of that has to be done manually. This is the track we race on tonight. Lap record still dating back to Pedro de la Rosa. Incredible. To that time, it was the second year that the track was part of the annual calendar. 131.4. Our drivers will blast that by multiple seconds in just a few moments, because the L2S community is definitely the most competitive and the strongest league I have ever worked with. I am a broadcaster since something around 7 months now, and I have worked with multiple leagues, but none of them was as competitive and as fast as the L2S community Tier 1. So we are a few minutes late. I think we are waiting for maybe the last one or two drivers to join in. I am having a look in the background chat. What's going on there, or if there is anything going on. And we are waiting, I think, for Laurentia and Serious Mushroom. Yeah, none of them have checked in yet. Let's see if they might join later. And I'm very sure that we will head off to Sakia in just a few moments, and I will be back with you in a moment. And now the session timer has started to tick down. The one driver we were waiting for a few moments was John Bunter. He has joined now. Maybe one or two more drivers will join in during the qualifying. All those drivers who have an invitation can join late as long as it is still during qualifying. So I think I saw 15 drivers for our season starting event. And here we are in the pit lane of Zakia. Let's get in some information that we will need in the qualifying. So in L2S we race with unique car liveries, means we will not see the real team liveries, so there are no teammates. And the first one to go out on track is David De Joel. BMC was the first one. This guy was the first one. BMC RB33. Definitely a Max Verstappen Red Bull fan. Here we see him with his brand new black, red, and a bit of white livery. Meanwhile, I am entering our telemetry tool. L2S works together with the homepage igk-tas.fr. Very cryptic, but a pretty cool homepage to watch and monitor the ongoing race telemetry. And as BMC starts his first hot lap, we ride on board with him. Little tradition of mine to sit on the shoulder for the first driver to get in a bit of a feel for the track. Turn 1, 2, 3 combination, and he almost lost it a little bit. A little bit of too much acceleration there between turn 1 and 2. This is turn 4, the turn that caused so much of discussion in the real world season opener with Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton just a few weeks ago. But that's not the only turn that can be cut or exceeded on this track. Turn 6 he did not get the apex done, but turn 10 he did. Hardest turn combination of the whole calendar here. The back straight DRS zone, and then some medium pace turns around the rock that is here on the right hand side. You cannot touch this inside curb here. You will totally lose your car. And this was already the penultimate turn. The medium length straight, the only straight that is not a DRS zone, and last turn. And this lap will not be a real competitive one. He sets the first purple time, of course, but I doubt that this time will stand in P1 very long due to his laps right here, right on this position. Yeah, and official is already over a second faster, 1.1 second faster. Mr. Official. There he is, new livery for him. I already saw it. I already broadcasted one other league, and oh no, he was that was Slayer who I broadcasted on Monday. Official, where did he run? I think he ran this livery already in the last race of the last season. So he had a camouflage livery earlier. I always called him the fastest tank on the world. And this is still green, but differently, no camouflage anymore. I like it. I think I had one season of my offline career in this livery too. But official is already down in second because this guy pushed ahead of him, Mr. Zim V, former Tier 2 driver in... Yeah, what is it? Is it bronze or brown and black livery? Golden Pickle now in third, Chappie fourth. I will try to get every driver depicted here in this first session and get in all the new creativity that guys had. Next one to post the hot lap is David De Joel. Another former Tier 2 driver. Had the honor to broadcast the season finale of Tier 2 2 weeks ago. So there I already got to know a few names that are now racing in Tier 1. One of them was David De Joel. Finished in the top 3 and therefore he got upgraded, put up into Tier 1. Another hot lap brought in by Landabot, the Italian racer. I think the only Italian we have in his dark blue and maybe orange livery. Hard to tell from this camera angle. John Bunter, the next one to post a hot lap. Totally different car now. He had a pink car, I think, in both the last seasons. The last car was so intensely pink that he called his car Miss Piggy, but there is definitely no Piggy left on this car now. Chappie already in the pits. Aces versus Kings. He is copying a Ferrari livery, not for the first time. Totally red car. Either a Ferrari, maybe a Delara from the mid-90s. So who did we not depict yet? Bellox is on hot lap, our driver from Uruguay. He has a new livery too. White and purple, maybe? Is it purple? I think so. Purple like the sector times he would like to post. But his lap time is not good. There's definitely nothing purple about this lap. 8.1 seconds behind pole setter Simwi. Next to depict Mr. Slayer, one of our admins and league owners. He is racing with a lot of yellow again. Yellow and blue. Blue at least alongside his halo. Really a lot of yellow, just some few spots of blue. He was one of the drivers. I had the honor to broadcast them already on Monday. We had a 4 times 25% shorties track. A lot of fun, a lot of chaos too. And he has invalidated the lap time in the penultimate turn, running too wide. Speaking about the track limits. And he will not abort his lap. That means he has enough of gasoline with him to run again. That is sadly not depicted yet in the... okay, now I see it, had to scroll a bit. Let's have a look. Slayer, where is he? Running in P13. That does not look good. If the data is correct, Slayer has only 0.3 laps of fuel left, so that will not be enough for a hot lap. So he maybe should have aborted the lap earlier. Who else did we not have in the camera? Maybe this guy, Mr. Infamous. Looks like a Braun livery. T1 GP for our former Tier 2 broadcaster. He did it almost the whole Season 1 and Season 2. I replaced him on the last event in Season 2 and now Season 3. From the start of Season 3 we have a new broadcaster, no one else than Mr. Infinite Gamer, who I just listened to the last 1.5 hours when I watched the Tier 2 race, and Infamous posted a lap time 1.7 seconds behind SimV. That is not competitive enough. So he will shake off the yellow tire, mount some red softs, and then go out on track again. 6.5 minutes left approximately. Time is not a problem yet, but he needs to watch out. He cannot invalidate the next lap time. So Frenzy sitting still in the garage. Slayer has returned to his pit crew, and Nolsey still without a time set yet. As someone leaving his pits. Nolsey, there he is. In an all-black car. So we have, with Aces versus Kings, all red, and Nolsey an all-black car. And with Slayer a almost completely black, completely yellow car. So let's ride on board with Nolsey here for a moment. I know, Aces versus Kings and Sean Bunter are on hot laps. So here we are from the all black to the all red car. Aces versus Kings, first sector, 27.8. He's green there, so improving, but not a purple sector. Let's see what he'll do at the end of sector 2. End of sector 2 coming up after this turn right here. He improved himself by 0.3. And that would push him ahead a little bit, but not further as towards Chappie, I think. Let's see what the clock says about this lap time. Only ahead of Bellox. Not as much of improvement as he probably hoped to have. What does Nolsey do? End of sector 1, 27.6. 27.6, that's already 2/10 faster than Aces versus Kings. That is level 2, maybe official and Lando bot. So P4, P5 around. At least sector 1. Let's see what sector 2 will bring for him. Here's the end of sector 2, and it is 37.2. 37.2. Yeah, he lost a bit. He lost time to official and Landobot in the intermediate sector. He lost a lot of time there. So, and now he even invalidated the lap time. So, no improvement. Still in last position for Nolsey. Meanwhile, Slayer is on a hot lap on mediums. What's going on there? Slayer on mediums. The first sector was a 27.9. Yeah, he's slow. He already slowed down So he realized already after the first sector that this will not bring him any further, and now he needs to hurry back to his pit crew and get fresh reds mounted in case he wants to start somewhere else, as in the last starting row. What else is going on? Infamous now running on softs. This should be the end of sector 1 coming up. It's 27.8. That is somewhere around BMC, so somewhere in the midfields. Landabot, meanwhile, 5th. He is, I suppose, finished already for this qualifying. Infamous here, end of sector 2, and he is improving by a second. That would give him something around Chappie, maybe between Chappie and BMC. But honestly, I would prefer to start on P11 or 12 where he sits now, so he has free option of tires. And in Bahrain, this is worth a lot. And in the end, he's even in P7, even ahead of BMC and Chappie. Slayer has retired. Slayer decided he is not able to drive another hot lap. This is disappointing. Disappointing starting position for him. Frenzy is still in the pits. Frenzy did not drive. Frenzy did not drive a single lap here in this qualifying. I hope everything's okay for him. And now let's have a look what our pole chasers are doing. The first one to watch is David De Roel. He's already in second sector. 27.5 in sector 1. That's two tenths slower than in his first hot lap. But for the moment, let's have a look at Simwi. He is about to finish his hot lap. A little bit of improvement for him, but that would not be enough to push for the pole. Simwi will improve, but only for a tenth. Is and stays in second. Meanwhile, David De Roel has posted a purple intermediate sector, but he lost time in the first sector. And in the end, he is the pole setter. 125.0. And Golden Pickle is still running. Good first and second sector, but not as good, not good enough that he has a chance for the pole. Where will the clock time stop for him? In second. So David De Roel and Golden Pickle pushed Simbi off the throne. And we still see official running is official. Still competitively running. First sector was already 2 tenths slower as David De Roel, but the second is purple. Second sector purple time, 36.4 for him. And in the end, where will official start his first race? In 3, P3, 125.2 in the end. No pole, but pushed ahead over Simwi, who was a pole setter for a long time in this qualifying. In the end, down only into 4th. So this could be a little bit of a disappointment for him. And I think this should be it for our qualifying. This should be our starting grid for the first race. And there is the official end of qualifying as we ride on board with official. And this is the starting grid for race 1. David de Joel in the pole. After Chris Tam was a pole king so often last season, David de Joel now first one doing it in season 3. Followed by Golden Pickle, then official in third, fourth goes to Simvi, fifth Landerbot, sixth John Bunter, 7 Infamous, P8 Castro France, P9 BMC, P10 Aces vs Kings, Chappie in 11th. He has free option of tire, likewise to Bellox in 12th, Frenzy no time set, likewise to Slayer and Nolsey, who got all their times deleted. So our drivers have about half a minute of time to get their setup loaded into the game. At least some minor changes are still possible, and to get the tire strategy set up. And I am with you back in a moment. So here we are on lap 0, the parade lap, warm-up lap, installation lap. This lap 0 had multiple different names over the years and centuries, or let's say decades. And first thing to watch is the tire strategy. And we see the top 10 have to start on softs, of course. We know the quali rule. Then Chappie, Bellox, Slayer, and Nolsey run on mediums. And Frenzy, who did not leave his pit for a second in qualifying, has opted to start his race on hards. So, I'm always a bit, yeah, not very sure if starting on hards is a good idea, because you lose so much of time and grip compared to the drivers around you. And second, Frenzy cannot have front wing damage, where we see the tire strategy presented by the Amazon Web Services. Frenzy cannot have front wing damage from the start, because he has only, or every driver has only one set of hards. So he needs to make this set of tire work with running long, and you just cannot have an early pit stop for who knows, then you would have wasted this single one set of hard tires you have. So, the first race of our third season. The red lights off. Go, go, go in Sakia. Oh, good start from Official and Golden Pickle. Not a good start from David Di Joel, who has to run wide, battles against Official and lost 2 positions from the start. Golden Pickle, the leader and the big winner of the start. Official second. David Di Joel, the loser of the start. Likewise to Simwi, who dropped down by 3 positions. And Infamous. Infamous is the big loser of the start. Infamous is in last position. There happened anything in the back. I sadly didn't see it. And there is no replay option for live streams, of course. But the rest of the field looks more or less fine. It does not look like as if there would be any kind of damage, but I can tell you with looking into our telemetry tool, and there I can tell you that Landobot and Infamous have minor front wing damage, 12%, so not the biggest issue, but still affecting them. Infamous and Landobot. Infamous now in 14th. Landobot dropped down to 7th. Landobot here battling against Casto France, who has not a tricolor livery anymore. There you can see, although he's a little bit ghosted there. Don't know what that has to mean. Still, Landobot is trying to avoid him. He could go through a ghosted driver, but he doesn't dare to. I don't know if that means the Casto France has connection problems. But it does not look like as if his car would be AI driven. Simwi, first one to get a plus 3 seconds penalty. Yellow in sector 1. Cannot tell you who it was as the table is confused as always. In the second lap we have VSC, virtual safety car. Let's try to scoot through the field as we see the task sheet, a different one than first time. And Northsea is the last one and he lacks a nose. Northsea, dark red, 100% damage for him on the nose. Yeah, you can visibly see that. So he'll come back to his pit crew in desperate need of a new front wing. And he'll... yeah, what will he do? I suppose he will continue his race on hards, try to run long. We will find out about that in a few seconds. For the moment, back to the leading duel. Official versus Golden Pickle. No DRS yet. That is activated in this lap. David Di Joel not too far away either. Oh, wheel to wheel here in the second DRS on there. You can see DRS opened. Battle for the ages between the two Mercedes. Rosberg versus Hamilton some years ago. Official is struggling to stay ahead, and that brings in David Di Joel and Banta and maybe even BMC. This is maybe a 5-man battle for our lead here early in the race, early in the season. Attack between Pickle and David Di Joel. Banta tries to move inside, and that costed him an end play. John Banta has front wing damage. This will affect him, especially in these fast turns here. And BMC gets closer, so the top 9, everyone is indirectly in the DRS window. Have a look at the table. Everyone is inside the 1 second window. And Banta into the pits for a new nose. Very early. So there is this big train, big DRS train, how our driver Infamous would call this situation. Official leading from David Dijuel, from Golden Pickle, from BMC, from Castle France, all of them inside the same DRS window, yellow in sector 1. Was it Nolse? No, Nolse not. I think it was Bellox who caused this short yellow, but already vanished. Still official leading. David Dijuel maybe attacking here. Yes, he did. Not even attack, he even overtook him. David Dijuel now the leader, but official is battling back on the outside. And this duel is brought to us, is filmed to us from the view of Golden Pickle. Official searching the slipstream, but he stays behind David Dijuel wisely, as he knows that there was the DRS detection, and now on the next straight he will have the DRS opened up. David Dijuel running wild left and right, and official searching the slipstream to back off his to back up his DRS. No overtake yet, but it looks like it's just a matter of seconds for official. Wheel to wheel into turn 4. Great and safe battling between those two boys. Competitive fighting with leaving each other the breathing space to not run into each other. This is again the view of Golden Pickle, who is half a second behind official. Even though they are battling ahead, it looks like Pickle is not able to catch up and make this a threesome battle, and behind him BMC isn't very far away either. So quick look into our telemetry tool, speaking about tire wear, and the top drivers are all of them around midway through 40, almost 50% of tire degradation. Casto France, no, Golden Pickle it is. Golden Pickle, the one who has the highest degradation. BMC right behind him still looks best of all our top drivers. And the next battle, official, is he through this time? No, not again. Cut back inside from official, but better lane for David Dijuel. Another cut back inside. And official trying to push through on the outside. Wheel to wheel into turn 4. And David Dijuel is still there. A bit of attack between them. David Dijuel lost a bit of grip there, and now finally official is through. Official muscled through. Pickle with a 3 seconds penalty for exceeding track limits. Intensely long locked front left tire. That will bring in BMC. But the Pickle is DRS equipped, as he is so close to David Dijuel, so no advantage for BMC behind him. So let's see what Dijuel will do now. Official now is the one who is haunted, DRS-less. This is the view of BMC, and behind him Casto France. So none of these drivers can commit a mistake, because that would mean they will lose a lot of time. Golden Pickle into the pits first. He was the one I mentioned who had the biggest tire degradation, and he's the first one to stop, likewise to Landbot. Golden Pickle mediums means Golden Pickle cannot go through on this set of tire. He will need another pit stop. Landbot likewise. Aces versus Kings did so too. Fresh mediums for him too. All of them who started on mediums will probably try to run Around about 13, 14 laps on this set, and then go over to hards and finish on the hards set. So that makes our leading group a 4-man battle group. Official is fast on the straight, fast enough that none of the DRS runners is able to attack him. Let's have a look what our telemetry says. Official has run out of excess fuel. Official is already at 0.1 fuel of excess fuel. So that means Official cannot run in rich engine mode any longer. And then he might get caught up. But have a look, all of them! 3 drivers, all of them pitting simultaneously. And David Dejoel was too fast in the pit lane. He almost ran into the rear of Official and therefore received a plus 5 seconds penalty. That could be costly in the end. And very interesting, every one of them, all these 3 drivers who were in simultaneously, all 3 of them now on mediums. So all of them need to stop again. And they return to the track in big traffic, big fighting group. This is now Official on his fresh mediums. Closely behind Bellox, closely behind Simvi. And Pickle is close again. Pickle overtook David Dejoel in the pits. Dejoel 1.3 seconds behind Pickle then. And BMC is closer to David Dejoel, here you see. So David Dejoel looks like a little bit of the loser of this pit stop phase. He lost a bit of ground, and further he was given the 5 seconds penalty there. There is some battle ahead. This is Golden Pickle overtaking Bellox. Sending him on the outside, sending him on the outside lane. And this is, what is this here? David Dejoel loses a position against BMC. Late break, dive bomb from Dejoel. But BMC saw him coming and left the door open. And in the end, Dejoel is ahead again. That was a hard maneuver. And Bellox looks slow. Bellox on his medium tires, on his used mediums. David Dejoel running around him on the outside. Therefore, was given a 3 seconds penalty for track limits. Dejoel is aggressive. He wants to get his time back, which he lost on the pit stop. And meanwhile, Slayer is in the lead ahead of Chappie and Frenzy. And let's have a look about the tire situation. The Slayer started on the mediums, so he will try to run a bit longer, maybe something around 3, 4, 5 more laps, and then run the end of the race on hards. And he's doing quite well. So he has tire degradation, the worst tire, 45% of degradation. That's the rear left. So that's still okay, I would like to say, for this duration. He is more or less in the window for his strategy. And behind him, let's have a look at those 2 boys. That is Chappie, the 2 admins, Slayer and Chappie. Both the same strategy. Chappie with slightly more degradation, but not really lots, just a few little percents. Slayer is Chappie is following Slayer here in the DS window, but looks like he is unable to attack him already for a few laps. Maybe he's doing that for a reason, to recharge. And yeah, he has 1.3 laps of excess fuel, and that is the third or fourth highest amount of excess fuel in the whole field. The highest amount of excess fuel in the top 10. Only Bunter, Infamous, and Nolse have more of excess fuel. The three backmakers, the three last positions. And here's the battle of Official versus Simvi. Wheel to wheel into turn 1. Better lane now for Simvi. Simvi, who had a good quali, but the race is just okay thus far. And this time, yes, he got it. Slayer got past of him with a second DRS zone attack in a row. Slayer looks strong. Slayer, I say official, of course. Official looks strong here on our season opener. Slayer is so too. Yes, Slayer does have quite good cards, I would like to say. Not the best, not the worst chances for Slayer. But I think, as things stand right now, the driver to beat is Official for tonight. Oh, and we have already a bunch of chat box messages. I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I admit, you know, I have a new PS5 now streaming, and I was used to be notified by the PS4 when there is a chat box comment, but the PS5 doesn't do that. So I just saw the amount of chat box messages right now. So sorry for not answering to you boys. Hello, Dean Cunha, we are missing you. Hello to Serious Mushroom, we miss you too tonight. What's going on with you boys? And yes, hey, Infinite Gamer, thanks for stopping by. So we have seen a pit stop, freshly done from Chappie. Medium, 2 hearts. Ui, what is Official doing here? He had a problem there at the end of Sector 1 or beginning of Sector 2. He ran wide there. Therefore, he definitely received a warning. And even more severe, he is in the grasp of Simvi again. 3.5 tenths. Only the gap, no attack yet. And behind Simvi, the Golden Pickle not too far away either, likewise to David de Joel. Slayer didn't stop yet, so this is virtually the battle for the lead. Let's see when the Slayer will finally pit in. I have another look into the dashboard of our telemetry tool. Slayer is around 60% of tire dag now. So maybe 1 or 2 more laps, but this should then be the end for his mediums. Hey, Mr. Mushroom, I am not quite sure if I understood your comment, but was a bit hard to get this console, but finally one pirate accepted to sell it to me heavily overpriced. But okay, I just thought it's time for something new in the new season. For the moment, let's have a short look at the penalty situation. We see only a handful of +3s, Simvi, Pickle and David de Joel. Teruel then with another +5 for speeding in the pit lane. But we are at close to the midway mark of this race, and on this track you can so easily pick up penalty seconds, and it is really a statement of quality of this racing community that we only have 3 drivers being penalized halfway through the Bahrain Grand Prix. And yeah, Slayer now has lost a second of gap to official. So whatever his strategy is, Slayer should stop very soon. Slayer should stop this lap if he still wants to have a little bit of his gap in his favor, because the pit stop delta in Bahrain is not that long, but you lose a lot of time, as you have to be slow on the very fast start-finish rate. So he is now even down to 10.5 seconds of gap to official. That was beyond the 12.5 seconds mark just a few laps ago. So I would like to suppose that he will be ranked back to BMC or Landabot when he then turns back to the pit to the track out of the pit lane. Yeah, Cunha, same opinion. He's waiting for a safety car, and there it's too late for more waiting time. There is the pit stop from Slayer. Let's see where he will be ranked then after his pit stop. Oh, even further behind than I expected. There you can see how much time you lose on this long, fast straight. Down to P9, battle against Frenzy. No real battle, I suppose. Frenzy on his old hearts. That should not be a match for Slayer on his fresh attire. Frenzy will try to stay within the 1 second window that he can activate DRS against him on the next straight, but that is already over. He's already out of the 1 second window. So Slayer, what will he do now? He needs to stay within something like 25 seconds to the drivers ahead, and that would mean that he could be ahead of those drivers ahead when they have to stop the second time. And then, of course, the stoppers have fresher, faster tire against him. So let's have a look about the gap situation. We see Slayer, he is 13.5 seconds behind officials, so that would work. He is within the pit stop delta of the drivers ahead. And short look about the penalties again, didn't change a lot, luckily. Another statement of quality is the fact that we are now in the second half of the race, and there has not been a single safety car phase, and there has not been a single driver to DNF yet. Aces versus Kings was in trouble somehow. He dropped back. He dropped behind Bunter and Frenzy, I think. No, only Bunter. So, battle of the midfields. Chappie, Casto France, Landabot. And when I said it, there is the first one to crash. There is the first one. We have a VSC. VSC. Where is the car? I cannot depict it again. Sadly, I try to get it in again. There it is. There it is. Wrecked car. I suppose that he was running on the inside curb and then lost it, already vanished. Vanished just when we watched it again from the TV pod of Infamous. And pit stops in the lead. The drivers take advantage of the VSC phase. A lot of drivers pitting in now. All of them will try to finish the race on fresh mediums. That was official, who almost had to stand still here to obey to the second times. And we have a drive-through penalty for Simvi. Oh, Simvi had a good race, good quality, quite good race, and now he ruined it with it. Who stopped? We have official who stopped for fresh mediums. That will be interesting. Official with fresh mediums chasing Slayer ahead with a little bit of gap and fresh hards. Then Simvi with fresh mediums, but still needs to serve a pit stop, a drive-through penalty. David de Joel on fresh mediums. He will be ranked ahead then after Simvi served his penalty. Infamous went through. He is in a good position now. And I suppose that he will try to nurse his tires home over the race. BMC stopped for fresh mediums. Then Bellox in 8th with rather fresh hards. Under pressure here from Landobot. Landobot stopped too for fresh mediums. Landobot is aggressive. Left, right, left, right. Landobot will probably wait for the next de-ice zone. He looks aggressive. He wants to overtake Bellox. Casto France is there too. Casto France wheel to wheel with Landobot. So now Bellox might be dropped by 2 positions now at the end of this race. Both are ahead of him. Looked very easy. And Casto France. No attack. Bellox tries to counter. No, Casto France stays ahead. This is a big fighting group here. Battle for P7, 8, 9, 10. And now some penalties have come in. Simvi already served his drive-through. That's why he is back to 10th. And troubles for Bellox. Bellox is out. And we have a VSC again. There should be a car. Yes, there is. He lost it on acceleration. Second driver to DNF. So in the second VSC phase, this time no one pitted in. Chappie in the lead, barely ahead of Slayer, still full course yellow, no overtaking. Now we are back to green. I think this time no one picked up the VSC time penalty, no one violated the sector times, and have a look, official is already close to the de-ice window, so this will be the big battle here in the last third of the race. Official trying to get back the lead and the win of the first race of this season. Yeah, as Mushroom and Dean Cunha are discussing the tire situation, let's have a short look about the tire wear situation in our telemetry tool. Chappie, the leader, has 30% of tire drag on his hards. Sounds a bit much for only 7 laps old hards. While we see some debris flying off. Some debris. Slayer has front wing damage and a massive one. Massive one, 43% of front wing damage, so there's a lot of winglets missing, and this brings in Official into the battle. This should be easy prey for Official. Wheel to wheel, you cannot overtake here. Ooh, this will be hard. Official tagged the rear of Slayer there, but no damage, I think. I don't know if Official is aware that Slayer is hurt, but still he pushed through. Oh, this is sad for Slayer that he somehow ran into Chappie there. And now, yeah, this should not be his hardest task for Official to overtake Chappie. He looks already very close here, and he just cruises by before turn 1. That was very easily done. Slayer did not pit in. Slayer, I think, tries to get his car through. And Slayer, no, Official, back in the lead. And Official immediately started to pull away. Chappie is not even in the DRS window anymore here with the detection. Maybe he is, but it won't take long until Official has pulled away entirely. Yes, wing is open. Chappie's rear wing is open. But anyway, it looks like Official is really faster, and he has all advantages in his hands. Faster tire, younger tire, so everything should work in Official's favor for the last laps of this race. There is some battle going on. This is Simvi against Casto France. This was the end of a DRS attack that did not work yet for Simvi. Both on simultaneously old mediums, but still Simvi looks faster. Now Slayer pitted in. Now Slayer decided he needs a new front wing and picked up a 5 seconds penalty with speeding in the pit lane. Slayer will finish the race on fresh softs. And Simvi now is a bit far away from Casto France anymore. And there he's overtaken. Have a look, Landabot into the action. 3 men into turn 1. Landabot ahead of Simvi, but Casto France could squash him off, at least for the moment. Slayer down to 11th. Landabot attacking on the inside. Did not work yet. This is far from over. So here's Vicious turn 8-9 combination and into the next DRS zone. Landabot, a bit of unstable rear, but could stay ahead. That saved Casto France for a moment. So this is the big fighting group here towards the end of the race. Everything else looks like settled for the moment. Next DRS zone upcoming here on the start-finish straight. This battle will be decided by penalties too. Let's have a short look about that. We see +8 for Simwi, so as great as this battle on the track is, he will lose it in the end due to his 8 seconds in his backpack. And have a look. Casto France looks like he is able to pull away on acceleration just enough to give himself some breathing room against these two boys. And wheel to wheel into these turns. Simwi ahead for the moment again. And with those boys battling, that might bring in Frenzy. He's on the edge of the DRS zone. Hello, Mr. Hamza. Welcome to our chat box. No DRS attack on the back straight. Casto France in 6 from Simwi, from Landabot, from Frenzy. Slowly but steadily sneaking up to this battle group, and maybe the same can be said about Tier1 Banta. Oh, and behind them is Slayer, flying ahead with his fresh softs, but he has a time penalty too. Next attack, Simwi against Casto France. This should be... No, it is not yet enough. Wheel to wheel into turn 1. Better lane for Casto France. This time he got him. Simwi is ahead. Simwi ahead. Let's see how long this might stay up. Lando bot very close there to Casto France. Looks closer to Casto than Casto to Simwi. Lando bot and Simwi, similar colors. Could almost mean they are teammates. Yep, definitely what Dean Cunha said. Great drive from Chappie and from Infamous too, I would like to say. Infamous up in 5th. Let's have a short look in the tire degradation situation. Infamous with 52% of tire deg on his used hards. I hope that he is able to bring it home, to nurse them home. And just when we talk about it, there was the attack from David de Joel against Chappie. Not over yet, Chappie fighting back on his hards. But better acceleration for the faster and younger medium tire mounted on the car of David de Joel. Yeah, what did I say just two laps ago? Everything is settled? Far from over. And back to our fighting group. This is Landabot trying to attack Casto France. A bit of a slide from Casto ahead. This was at least a warning for the not so Frenchman. Ooh, bit of a tag there, but no damage. Oh, and a big slide from Lando Bot that granted Casto some breathing space, but no one behind him. Slayer still sneaking up. Slayer in 9th. Slayer on his comeback tour in the pits, in the points. Yeah, and in the top rows, David de Joel has separated 1.7 seconds from Chappie. But David de Joel has a penalty, so as we head into the last 4 laps, let's have a look at the penalty situation. Not too many penalties handed out, but still they will be deciding. While we see a little bit of a glimpse there in the rearview mirror from Lando against Casto. We see a few +3s handed out for David de Joel and Casto France. +5 and 5 +3 then for Slayer and Simwi. Okay, serious mushroom. It's very nice for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that shall mean, but I said it, just as you wish. And this is the battle for 8th, at least momentarily. Slayer is up ahead of Landabot. Have a look on his fresh softs. He was really cutting through the fields. Ooh, and who was running wide there? There was Castellfrance. Received a penalty for it. Dropped down a position against Slayer. And in the grasp of Landabot, very close he is. Ooh, almost been able to taste the paint of the rear from Casto. And then slide a bit on the exit of the last turn. Slayer is too far away to be attacked, but Landabot against Castellfrance. No attack yet. This is the view of Landabot. Isn't it great to have these intense midfield battles? I was missing it this 1 week of break we had. John Bunter is sitting and rather glued to his P10. No chance for anything further ahead for him. Frenzy in all the Aces versus Kings. Sadly, very quiet races for those boys. Ooh, almost a little bit too late on the break there for Landabot. And it looks like Landabot is able to break a little a little later than Castellfrance, but still Casto stays ahead on every straight. I have another look into our telemetry tool about the information about those two boys. Yeah, Serious Mushroom, I hope you will return to the track next week. Here's the attack, Landabot on the inside against Castellfrance. Once again, a bit of attack there from Casto. And I think this costed him... No, it did not. No, I supposed, or I thought I saw some front wing damage for Castellfrance, but that was not true. This is a vivid, vital battle for 2 points. 2 additional points. And tire degradation looks severe for some drivers, but they will be able to bring it home. 1.5 laps remaining. Chappie 64%, Infamous 63% each on the rear tire. So does not look very good, but they will bring it home. Meanwhile, every driver has used up the excess fuel very well. Ace versus Kings, the only one who is with over 1 lap of excess fuel. The rest is at 0 point something. And one of the reasons why everyone has used it up so well is the fact that we did not have a safety car phase here tonight. So no chance for the drivers to collect some extra fuel. So we are in our last lap. The last lap. Not a lot possibilities for Landabot anymore to try and overtake Castellfrance. Landabot will be ahead then anyway. Landabot will be even ahead. Landabot should finish 6th then, because Simvi, Slayer, Casto, all of them will be ranked behind him due to penalties. And David de Joel with his +3 has raced away from Chappie. The 3 seconds penalty. Chappie is around 4 seconds away, so David de Joel will stay in 2nd. Let's see where Official is. He should be very close to the end. Already close to the last turn. The first race of Season 3. Totally in the grasp. Totally belong to this man. Congratulations to our first winner of Season 3. Mr. Official. And in second, then David De Joel, who will stay there no matter of his penalty. Chappie in third. Wow. Chappie, great drive, great start of his season. He was almost in a relegation discussion at the end of the last season, and now almost has the same amount of points after just one race than he had almost in the entire last season. Fourth, BMC RB33, and in fifth, for me in personal, driver of the day, Infamous. Here we finish the session sitting on his shoulder. He was starting very far in the back, but made it up into fifth. Yeah, Chappie. Chappie or Infamous are, for me, the driver of the day. It's very hard to decide who it would be in the end, but first we watch the winner stance of Mr. Official. And the virtual first shower of champagne, first of many to come. So this is the end, the official end after penalties of our first race. Official has won it, ahead of David De Joel and Chappie on the podium. Then in fourth, BMC RB33. Fifth goes to Infamous. Sixth, Landabot. Seventh, John Bunter. Eighth then in the end for Slayer. Good race for him, bit unlucky in the end with his nose damage and penalty. Ninth, Simwi. 10th, Casto France. He has acquired the last point. P11 then Frenzy, Nolsey in 12th. 13 goes to Aces vs Kings, and not finished we have Bellox and Golden Pickle. So this has been it for our first race, first of 11 races here in Season 3. Next week I hope that some boys will check into the lobby again, like Dean Cunha, like Serious Mushroom, like Chris Tam, our reigning champion. He is already down a race to try and fight for a prolonging of his championship reign. The next week we see the Formula 2 race on Tuesday evening, starting at 9 p.m. UK. Then we have Tier 2 of the Formula 1, starting at 8 p.m. UK or 7 p.m. Continental, being broadcasted to you by the Infinite Gamer. And Tier 1 next week on Thursday, same time as today, so 9 p.m. UK, 10 p.m. Continental, streamed by me again. I'm Zeb Bauer, and I'm very glad you were with us. If you want to be notified, hit the subscribe button, and you will get the information from YouTube when the L2S community will continue next week. Until then, have a nice evening, have a nice weekend, and I hope you will be with us next week. Until then, good night, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.